Hello, I am Mary Mills. I'm an early childhood specialist for the Center for Development and Learning and your host today. Today, we will be talking about supporting your child's language development at home. We will be discussing helpful strategies along with activities to promote and reinforce language development while you're at home with your young children during this time. Who are we? The Center for Development and Learning. Our mission is to improve the life chances of all children, especially those at high risk, by increasing school success. Our purpose is to achieve equity in education and close the opportunity gap for high-risk youth. And our belief is that all children, regardless of how they look, where they come from, or how they learn, can and will achieve school success when provided with highly effective teachers and positive supportive learning environments. Today's agenda. There will be a brief introduction to the series. At-home strategies for parents to reinforce learning during COVID-19. There will also be an introduction to early childhood language development. And lastly, we'll be discussing how parents can best support their child's language development while they are spending hours and hours at home with their children during this time. We'll be going over hints and strategies that can help you reinforce their language development, as well as activities that you can do with your children during this time. So let's get started. The series is At-Home Strategies for Parents to Reinforce Learning During COVID-19. Over the next several weeks, I'll be discussing the early childhood developmental domains. We'll be discussing social and emotional development, cognitive development, fine and gross motor skills, and language development. As you can see, we'll be discussing language development today. Early childhood language development is a process that starts during their early years, when a child begins to acquire language by learning as it is spoken. You may ask, what is language? Language is a code that is learned to use in order to communicate ideas and express wants and needs. Language is expressed through speech, writing, and even gestures. How do children acquire language? Language is not learned all at once. Instead, it is learned through stages and over time. Children learn what conversations look like. And lastly, by listening to the language around them and practicing what they hear. That is why it is essential to be cautious and to be mindful of the conversations that you're having with your children and the way you are talking to your children, or even to other adults when your children are around. They are listening and they are watching your conversations. Language development is most profound during a child's first 3 to 5 years of life. This is a crucial time to expose children to words and books that are developmentally appropriate practice. Vocabulary learned during early childhood provides a foundation needed for language development. Children understand that sounds have meaning. Llama Llama Red Pajama, The Very Hungry Caterpillar, First 100 Words are just 3 examples of great books to introduce to your children during their early years. 3 facts to keep in mind during your child's language development process. The language they may learn through their interactions with caregivers. Make sure your interactions are genuine, on their eye level, smiling, back and forth communications. How fast children acquire language. And lastly, strategies we can take to help them through the process. And that's why we are here today, to learn new strategies that we can engage and we can take to help children learn those language development skills. Language development is a significant process for parents to witness. You will hear your infants cooing. Then you will hear repetitive syllables. That will lead to words, simple words, mama, dada. And then you'll start hearing sentences, 2 to 3 word sentences, then 5 or plus more word sentences. And then you'll eventually start to hear more complex sentences. Each child has a unique path to language development. Some children acquire language quicker than others. Parents' role in language development begins even before birth. Parents should support their children's learning language at their own pace through their everyday interactions. Talking, those back and forth exchanges. The more you talk, the better. Singing with your children, singing to your children, and reading. So now we're going to discuss some developmental milestones of language development. Around 3 months, your infant will start cooing and gurgling. About 6 months, you'll start hearing babbling. Around 12 months, you'll start to hear their first words, mama, dada. And around 18 months, your child knows up to 5 words. Around 2 years old, 200 to 300 words, as well as 2 to 3 word sentences. Around 3 to 4 years old, you'll start hearing around 900 to 2,000 words, as well as 5 plus word sentences. And 5 years old, 2,100 words to 2,200 words. And this is when your children will start to creating those longer and more complex sentences. Some tips for parents, some helpful strategies. Talk, talk, talk. I cannot express how important it is to talk to your children. Be mindful of the way you talk with your young children in order to reinforce positive language skills. You want to use gestures along with the word you say so they can say it too. If you tell them it's time to eat, tap your lips. Talk to your child about what they are doing. This is called parallel talk. Using words to describe actions and feelings help children learn those words too. For example, Anna, you're putting a dress on your baby. You're making your baby look pretty. Tell children what you are doing so that they will know what to expect. This is called self-talk. I am pouring milk for you. Offer frequent back and forth exchanges. Ask those open-ended questions that do not have right or wrong answers. You want to use complete and varied sentences when speaking to your children. A child may say, "Two cat." You can say, "You have two cats on your shirt." Sing with your children. It's easier to learn words and songs. They can learn about rhymes, the ABC song, the colors of their clothing, and names of their friends. Create a cozy library at home with various books. Create books about your child so that when they see themselves in a book, they will learn that books can be about things in their life. Label and describe the words on things. Point out words in books or containers so they will understand how printed and spoken words are connected. And lastly, give your child time to explore and learn. There's no rush to learn the names of colors, letters. They learn at their own pace. So now we'll be learning some strategies at different age levels. We'll be discussing young infants, mobile infants, toddlers, as well as preschoolers. We're going to start out with young infants, birth to 8 months. Sing lullabies as your infant is falling asleep. You want to respond to infant's coo by repeating the coo and using eye contact and giving them a smile back. Make sure you're at their eye level. You want to try to limit baby talk. Read to infants frequently. Use self and parallel talk during conversations. Describe what you are doing, as well as describing what the child is doing. And label objects. Red ball. The green grass. Now we're going to move on to mobile infants, 9 to 17 months. You want to respond to infants' attempts to communicate, even if that's nonverbal attempts. You want to model turn taking. Give the children time to respond when you ask a question or when you say something. This will teach them the rules and what a conversation looks like. You want to use complete and varied sentences when speaking to your children. And you want to expand and extend on infants' communication. Toddlers, 18 to 36 months. Label and describe objects, actions, people, and feelings. The red dump truck. The garbage truck. Label those objects. Choose books that introduce new vocabulary, so those developmentally appropriate books. Make sure the books are of the children's interest. Sing songs with a variety of repetitive words. Ask those open-ended questions. Tell me about it. How do you know? What do you think? These questions allow children to express themselves. These questions also open up opportunities for some back and forth exchanges. And the next is engage in back and forth conversations. Talk to your children and give them time to respond. Repeat and extend their communication. And preschoolers, 3 to 5 years old, engage in frequent conversations. Again, ask those open-ended questions, questions that invite children to elaborate responses, such as tell me about it, what do you think, how do you know, what do you think about today's weather? Talking to your child helps them see themselves as a good communicator and motivates them to continue developing these skills. You want to repeat and extend children's responses. A child may point and say, "Look, Mom, a temperature thingy." A mom or dad could say, "Yes, that's a temperature thing. It's called a thermometer." You want to use advanced language. A parent may ask their child, "Tell me about your hat." The child may say, "It's yellow, green, blue, orange, purple." A parent could respond and say, "Yes, it's all different colors. It's multicolored." Using that advanced language. Using a variety of books. Books that offer rhyme, color books, books of the children's interest. Model turn taking. And lastly, accept children's grammar without correcting it. Now we're just going to discuss some activities that you can engage with your children while you're at home during this time or anytime. These are simple activities. These activities do not require you to go out and purchase things to engage. These activities are just simple, easy, and very effective when thinking about language development. First is name it. During diaper changes, take a moment to play "What's this?" Lift your child's foot and say, "What's this?" It's a foot. And what are these? They are toes. You can name belly, belly button, knee, leg, parts of the face like eyes, nose, mouth, and even more. Through repetition, young children are learning new words. Picture this. Snap photos of your child during an activity with you, such as making cookies. Take a picture of the beginning of the activity. Getting the ingredients. Making a list of the ingredients you need. The middle, adding ingredients, stirring, and the end, eating the cookies, which is the best part. Glue each photo to an index card. Show the photos to your child and talk about the steps you took for each activity. Remember those strategies and tips that we've previously discussed. Model turn taking. Those back and forth exchanges, giving your child time to respond to you. Activities like this help develop your child's thinking skills as long as their language skills. Point it out. As you read books with your child, ask him to point to the cat or show me the moon in his favorite stories. Reading activities like this help children understand the connection between words and pictures and build their vocabulary. This can be done with mobile infants, even toddlers, and you can also make it more advanced for preschoolers by pointing out more advanced vocabulary words, making it a more advanced book. Family book or all about me book. Create books with your children using pictures from their life experiences. Outside on a scavenger hunt, baking cookies, their siblings. When they see themselves in a book, they will learn books can be about things in their life. As you are creating books, talk about the pictures with your children. Ask those open ended questions. Get on their eye level. Engage in the activity. And read, read, read. I cannot tell you how important it is to read to your children on a daily basis before they go to bed, during daily routines. Reading is a simple way that caregivers can support language development in their young children. Some helpful book reading tips. Ask open-ended questions throughout the book. Before reading, you could ask the children, by looking at the pictures on the cover, what do you think the book's going to be about? Make connections to children's life. We know when we connect things to their lives, they are more likely to communicate, to express, and to talk. Incorporate books and reading into daily routines. Show children the words you are reading as you read them. Let children take part in story time. Let them turn the pages of the book. Ask them to predict what's going to happen next. And be enthusiastic as it helps draw your child to the book. Make it interesting. Make it fun. The more fun, the more involved and interested they are. Thank you all for joining me today. Let's stay connected. Please email me with any questions, concerns, or topics you would like to learn more about, or additional resources. My email is mary@cdl.org. Also, follow us on social media, the Center for Development and Learning. Thank you all so much and have a great day.